Okay, so this is Let's Talk Real Estate. My name is Darlene Dara from Century 21 Dreams, and today's episode is really Let's Get Real. It's about foreign ownership and what I'm hearing. So, depending on who you are in the scheme of things with real estate, will depend on how you view home ownership. And this is an issue that is affecting not only Oakville and Burlington, but really affecting areas like Toronto, was affecting Vancouver, a little less since they introduced a tax, and really what has been the effect. So this is really a thorny issue, I'm going to be perfectly honest. So it really depends where you are on the spectrum as far as, are you selling? If you're selling, many times it's about what you're selling for. It's the top dollar. Many people do care who they sell to, many people don't, but at the end of the day, home ownership, whether we like it or not, is, for Canadians, is usually their single biggest investment, and it can affect, their retirement, their children's lives, etc. So my job as a realtor is to definitely get them the best price and with the conditions that they like. That's my job. Having said that, I live in these communities, and it is also important, hopefully, to be able to get somebody who's buying in who really wants to live here and will be part of the community, a contributing member of the community. Having said that, the trends are now happening. Let's talk Oakville, Burlington, that many times people are working with outside of area agents. Again, another thorny subject, but what is the effect of that? Well, people are listing or they're buying, and you're not always told a straight story, quite frankly, on really who's buying. And if you are working with an outside area agent, the chances are they have no vested interest in the community, so to speak, because they're not really here, they're not staying. They're not seeing the effects of what's going on. Again, real thorny issue. Hate to keep bringing that up. But if you're the seller, you're interested primarily in the money you're going to get. If you are a buyer, you care because sometimes foreign ownership doesn't really care what they pay. And the trend that we're seeing is either that they're leaving the houses vacant or many times renting them. So there is a lot of frustration in the communities of residents who want to buy in and keep getting outbidded by foreigners who aren't going to be staying. So if you're a buyer, it really can affect you. If you are a neighbor, that's a whole other perspective. So if you are living in the community and you end up with a rental property that is run down, or a vacant property, even worse, and you have owners who aren't coming in to cut grass, etc., and maintain the property, it's really frustrating. And quite frankly, as a realtor, I'm hearing that from a lot of people. So there is definitely a backlash. Not going to lie to you. And certain areas are affected more than other areas. We have some areas like the South that are seeing that trend, as well as builders who are sitting on properties or buying them, getting permits, not even building, and trying to resell the property at a very increased price. So as a neighbor, what can you do? Well, if a property is not maintained, honestly, you can do one of two things. You can call the city and complain, and hopefully they'll get involved. Many times, if there's an issue and I can help, then sometimes we can call the buying agent, who will know the buyers, and hopefully will contact them prior to getting the city involved. So that's another thing. So I've always tried my best to make sure that properties that are sold through me are maintained after the fact. But there are rules and regulations that as the listing agent, we can't really contact the buyer directly. It wasn't our client, so we have to work with the listing agent. So having said that, that's why it's also important, or better, when it's a local agent, because again, they have more vested interest because they live in the community, but not always, quite frankly. So it is a thorny issue. People are, a lot of people in Ontario now are asking for the same tax that Vancouver had. Was it the effect that people wanted? It definitely, slowed down sales, but it also impacted locals who were then trying to sell, or were selling and trying to buy, or were in the middle, and so a lot of deals were starting to fall apart. So really, a lot of times when you're doing changes like this, and it's also actually that law, I'm told, is now being challenged in court, because we do have tax treaties and treaties with other countries that they could be actually, there's talk that it could be violating some of those. So even the Vancouver thing is very iffy right now. But having said that, as a realtor, I'm not going to lie to you that foreign ownership, especially if there's no intent of ever really living in it, or foreign ownership by builders. But the builder thing I'm going to talk about in a separate one. But that's a whole other issue as well. So it is adding fuel to the fire of people's frustration of affordability and being able to move within their own communities. And so we have to work together. I have to advise buyers and sellers regarding the new reality. Let's face it, Canada is a great country. Ontario is a great province, and our communities in particular have always been a magnet for people. I was a relocation manager for the second largest food retailer in Canada, and I was involved in relocating. They were Canadians, but I was involved in recommending and relocating people to Oakville in particular, and Burlington and surrounding areas. So I know a lot about relocations, having been a relocation manager. It's a whole different perspective than just having a realtor who's working with international or relocation clients. So I know the corporate structure of some of those programs. So, this is a topic that comes up. I hear about it almost daily. It is a reality that I live with for both my buyers and my sellers, and have to work with that new reality. And will legislation be implemented that will actually hold to change it? And what will be that impact? We really don't know if that even happens. Having said that, real estate is generally the single biggest asset that people have. And it's really important that not only realtors, but government and everybody make sure that our market is healthy. Right now it is very healthy, but prices are all over the map, to be honest. All I know for sure is that Canadians in general love real estate. They feel safer with it than the stock market. We love our homes. Most of us do take great pride in our homes. And we want to be part of our community, both keeping our houses up, having our children in the schools, volunteering, and being active and supportive members of the community. So hopefully that will remain. So that's it for today. I'll be interested to hear your perspective. But definitely as a realtor, I see trends, and I can spot things very quickly that are happening. So I hear your pain, I see your pain, I feel your pain, quite frankly. So if I can help at all, email me at darlene@homesaledivas.com, or call or text me 905-484-4653. I would be happy to help you with your real estate needs. So take care and have a fantastic day.